let's just kind of go over the whole Knoxville Nationals because High Limit and Knoxville Nationals were there. Shout out to the 69K, made a very strong case to possibly win the Nationals. They had some issues. The car fell off pretty hard on Saturday. They ended up finishing, I think, 11th, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, but very strong effort for that.
Good qualifying night. Started on the outside pole with the point. You actually tied with Larson.
Yep, but this is the first time since the 80s with Steve Kinser that somebody's led every single lap, flag to flag, back-to-back years for the Knoxville Nationals, and Kyle Larson has done it.
Yeah, it never used to be 50 laps either, so that's a lot more laps Larson has led.
And I don't really know, is it as impressive for being a 50-lap race when you stop halfway through?
Well, I mean, it's still 50 laps.
But I will say that Paul Silva did one thing that nobody else did in the entire race. He left the same damn tires on that car. He didn't touch them. He said, basically told Kyle, said, go with it. It's fine. Suck it up. You'll be fine. And he was. It was pretty much an old school asphalt.
Hoosiers, you never know. You put another tire on it, and
they
the same, and they just don't handle the same.
They had a close up with it, and the tire looked really good.
Knoxville's a nice track. When it don't take rubber, it's easy on tires.
Yeah, I think pretty much everybody else.
And I'm thinking he may have had a slightly harder tire on just from that start, where I thought Pittman 69K was going to drive around him.
And then he just started driving away.
And once that harder tire got hot, I mean, I don't know. I'm speculating.
A big recognition needs to go to Giovanni Scelzi, who came so close, and he was so heartbroken after the race. I mean, you could see what this race means to everybody, and to come that close to winning it. Gio's done it for quite a few years now, and he's come. This is the closest he's ever had a chance to it, but nobody was going to beat Larson at the end. His car was just phenomenal. He's too good of a race car driver to let that one slip out at the end. Corey Day with his Knoxville Nationals debut,
so our picks did pretty good.
Yeah, our picks were second and third. That's about as close. If Larson just didn't race, I would have won. But I mean, but to be third in the Knoxville Nationals as an 18-year-old, that is impressive.
You just don't go to Knoxville and be fast. It's just not that simple.
No, and especially the Nationals of anything, because you have to be consistent throughout the week. You have to build the points to even have anywhere close. I don't even think he started like
he started back fairly far.
11th. He was like in the row 5, row 6, something like that. So it wasn't like the one race where he started 24th and won, but that was impressive. And I kind of wish they didn't stop halfway. They can make it 50 laps. They don't need to stop.
Not anymore. They can't. They'd have to put bigger tail tanks on them.
You think they would have made it on fuel?
Not the way these engines run anymore. Back when we were doing stuff, our engines would have ran 50 laps.
But there's too much horsepower now.
They're just dumping so much fuel in these things and making so much power. It just, they'd have to put a 32-gallon fuel cell in the thing.
Did you see Logan Schuchart their crew changed the entire gears within the 5-minute clock or whatever it was? I have never seen that.
Yeah, especially when they're, those gears are 1,000 degrees. And I'm trying to figure out what happened that they broke a gear, or were able to pull the gears out, put new gears in, dump the oil back in it, if they dump the oil back in it.
Well, I didn't see any rear end grease or anything get put back into the. I'm like, I didn't see anything.
That's what I mean. I didn't see them put any oil back in it. So maybe
maybe it wasn't exactly the gears. I mean, maybe
they were changing gears. So
maybe they put them on upside down, because that's never happened. And well, that was just I have never seen that. I don't think anybody had like mechanics gloves on or anything. They just said, "Oh, let's just go raw dog on it."
You know how hot those things are.
Yeah, a little warm. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, and they did it with. I mean, done. Well, the whole crew was like, "No, we're done," and they're like, "All right, it looks like they're done," and they're like, "Oh, actually, they're not done. They're actually they somehow did this." And those guys on Dirt Vision, they've seen everything, and they're like, "That's the first time we've seen that."
Yeah.
So that probably takes the crown of the best fix-it time, or whatever you call it. It's not pit stop, but yeah. That was pretty impressive. But yeah, Kyle Larson gets his third Knoxville Nationals, the third in 4 years. And he probably should have had 2020 as well, and he was mentioning that too. he got to have all of his little ones on the wing, so that was
cool.
And the little one was up there too. I think that's the first time he got to do that too, so that was pretty cool. And they said Larson had some boos. I didn't hear boos in the crowd. Maybe there were like a couple, but I didn't really hear a lot of boos.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to boo a winner.
Well, they're probably just like, come on, somebody else win at this point. Yeah, that was kind of an old school ass whooping once again.